We bring you a microphone, and you can ask questions about anything. About the Odoo product, about the Odoo company, about growth, entrepreneurship, management, pretty much everything. Just raise your hand and ask questions, and I will do my best to answer you if I can. So maybe we can start. If someone has a question, raise your hand and we'll bring microphones.
Hello. I have a question for a specific feature. Is it possible that Odoo will add that in the future for car trip registering, so that it is easy with GPS data to track when you start driving and when you arrive at a specific location?
Yes, tracker for fleet management.
Yes, and that it's automatically...
we developed that with our Indian team. It's not an official module because it's too niche to be in the core of Odoo. But the module exists on the App Store and it has been developed by our Indian team. So if you are interested, is there someone from Odoo India here? Yes, Mantavia, raise in the back. You see the guy in the back? Yeah, this guy, the one that stand up. You go and check with him after, he can show you what we have done. Any other next question?
Hello, Fabien. First, I would like to thank you for actually extending the time for Ask Me Anything, because I know Odoo is growing, you must be super busy, but the fact that you still take the time to talk to us, thank you. Appreciate
it's my favorite session, actually.
Now, to my question, I'm definitely not an Odoo senior, but we have been an implementation partner for a few years. And during the growth and development of Odoo, I noticed there is one common denominator that us as implementation partner or our customers as well are noticing, is that there is a lot of chaos involved. If it's a new pricing model, a new support model, new features, refactored features, broken features, lost features, etc., API refactoring, there is a lot of chaos involved. I want to ask you, if Odoo should become the top ERP system, which I believe it can, and if it should preserve this position, do you think this amount of chaos is compatible, or is there something you think Odoo can do to improve and change so it really can be the top ERP?
Can't judge for your company, but I feel like in my company there is not a lot of chaos. It's true. I mean, the company remains relatively simple. We have 6,500 employees, only one product, Odoo, only two platforms, Odoo Online, Odoo SH. Find large companies like that who stay simple. 3 departments, sales, service, and R&D, basically. There is a few HR and admin, but that's it. So I feel like we remain a very simple and very well-organized company. Obviously, our job is not easy. And your job as a software implementer or integrator of Odoo, it's not easy because the business is complex. But I also believe we did a very good job at simplifying the complex things. We feel sometimes that implementing Odoo is complex, but look at what SAP and Microsoft Dynamics are doing. Huh? Their projects are usually extremely complex. So compared to what we do, I feel like we don't have a lot of chaos because the technology is simple, the technology is good. Having said that, I think I know what you mean by chaos. It's also true that Odoo is evolving a lot. And because we evolve a lot, every year you have to relearn new things, you have to adapt to the new versions and things like that. But I believe it's part of the innovation process. There is no way you can innovate if you don't change anything. And the only way to innovate is to test, experiment. Most of the time you are right, sometimes you are not, but it's the process of innovation. And so we have to choose. Do you prefer to have a little bit of chaos and a fast innovation, and when we release an AI, like we have done this morning, it really works, as opposed to Salesforce, we struggle to make this AI works, even though they put specific team, they completely fail at implementing in production. So for me, I actually believe that we succeeded to make it quite extremely mature. I mean, most of the customer evolves easily, and so on. But it's sure that we are in a complex business, so sometimes we might feel a little bit of chaos. But I don't feel like we have done a bad job at that. Actually, quite the opposite. Maybe I should say one other thing. I don't know if it's what you had in mind, but we do have a lot of chaos in terms of technical debt. One of the big issues is when sometimes we develop too many custom features for large customers, and we end up with large customers that are difficult to maintain, and Odoo is evolving quickly, and then your technical debt start to cost more and more and more and more. But that is something that we struggle a lot with the partner network since years, because even though we are pushing methodologies and guidelines on how to charge the maintenance so that we cover the technical debt, we make the customer evolve and reduce it, we know that we still have a large part of the partner network that is not following it, and we still have some customers stuck on old version of Odoo because of that. And it's not easy because every partner does what he wants. It's the power of open source. I have no control on the way partners operate, and I think it's good, it's great. It's one of the good things is open source, is that we don't need to agree. Everyone can manage the way they want. But it's true that sometimes this technical debt, a lot of customization for a partner, done for a customer with no maintenance contract could be an issue. But that's something that is manageable, and most of the good partners, they managed it. They have a maintenance contract where they guarantee they can upgrade every customer at no extra cost. It's part of the maintenance. And when we do that, the technical debt gets reduced and we can evolve very quickly. I hope it answers your question. Thank you.
So I have a question about the AI. The previous years you seemed quite reluctant about the AI, but this year you called it our best friend. So can you give more some explanations?
So I didn't change my mind. I still think that 95% of the value of Odoo is Odoo itself, as a good CRM or as a good website builder, and AI is just a feature of Odoo. It's a great feature, but it's just a feature. That allows a lot of things, but it's only because Odoo is great that our AI is great. Because everything is fully integrated, because all the data are there, because it's open source, that the AI is very efficient. Yes? Does it answer? Maybe something else about AI. We have a very big advantage at Odoo compared to all other competitors on AI. And it's one of the reasons why they pretty much all have failed. And I believe what we did will be really useful in production. And this reason is part of our core business model. It's because we are open source. The way AI works, you have this very large language model, the one of Gemini or OpenAI or DeepSeek. These large language models have been trained on internet. But it means that they have been trained on our source code, they have been trained on our documentation, on our open source community, on our GitHub account, on partners development branch, and so on and so on. So basically, all large language models today, they are trained on Odoo. You can ask them to develop Odoo modules, they will do it. No other proprietary software can do that. What they have to do is to do layers on top of the AI, to process the information in the AI, to add the proprietary stack, and try to have the AI adapt to the stack. We have the big advantage that because we are open source, we are already embedded in all the large language models. And that gives us a great value. That was a side note. Yes?
Hi Fabian, this is Michael from Datenpol in Austria. We're a gold partner, and first of all, let me say congratulations on the new version. It's really great to see the AI integration. And
I think we can congratulate the R&D team and Anthony, which is here.
That's great.
They developed it.
Really great work. So my question is on your customer strategy. It seems like I would interpret it in a way that you're more focusing sort of the small B2C, small companies rather than the top companies. When do you think it will be time to aggressively attack SAP, Oracle, and go for the large enterprises far stronger than you're doing now?
I'm laughing because every year I have the same question. So every year I have the people like you that come and say, when do you start working on large companies? Because we sell Odoo to large companies, and as a product it's great for that. And then I have all the other partners who come and say, can you please stop selling to large companies and focus on the small companies? and I understand why you struggle, because when I started to do, I wanted to do a software, and I said at the beginning, it's going to be complete enough so that we have all the features that a large company do. We're going to go from manufacturing, inventory, CRM, and we're going to deep. Manufacturing go to PLM, maintenance, quality, everything. And it's going to be simple enough that very small companies will be able to use it. And our strengths will be that, to have at the same time the easiness of simple software and the completeness that large companies need. I remember when I explained that at the beginning, most investors told me, no, it's not possible. You will have to choose. Either you do complex software for the large company or you do simple software for the small companies. And I've been convinced that we can crack this. And it's part of the success of Odoo is that we cracked it. We did something that is complete enough so that large companies get everything they need, and simple enough so that small companies can use it very easily. And we did it. And because we did it, we addressed both markets. And because we addressed both markets, none of the markets are happy in terms of marketing. So to answer your question, when do we address? We started. We have departments dedicated to large companies. We have signed deals with Toyota, Danone, Ego, NASA is using Odoo, the Rocket Blue, Blue Origin is using Odoo, what else? Fusion, CFS, Commonwealth Fusion, probably the first that will succeed fusion nuclear reactor, or they just leverage billions of euros. So a lot of large companies, governments are using Odoo, are actually using Odoo. We have a sales strategy for Odoo. We have a consulting department for Odoo. So don't worry about that. It's just that because we do also the small, you might feel like we don't do the large, but we do both. And it works, really, it works to do both. And you know what's funny is that when we sell to the large companies, they all dream of being small. Not being small, but they all dream of having very simple software that are beautiful, that are simple, and they don't want to use this legacy complex ERP anymore. So today, our main value proposition for the large is actually what we did for the small. And the small companies, they start to be complex. They all have activities in different countries, in different languages. They have marketing, they have inventory, they have accounting. So even the small companies start to be a little bit complex. And so because of that, I believe we succeeded in both, which is something nobody did. But don't think it's because we do both that we do none.
Fabian, my question regarding consolidation.
Where are you?
Multi-company, here. So in the case where we're having customers with multiple companies in different regions outside the Euro. So for example, a company based in Dubai and another company based in Belgium. Your recommendation is actually to create a third company for consolidation purposes, or we can actually check the two companies, but we're having problems. So I would want to have your take. Which is the better approach?
No, you don't need to create a third company. You can, but you don't need to. So the traditional way to do it is to first go to a common account. So usually companies choose IFRS. So you have your local GAAP, Belgium and Dubai, and then you have to convert both to IFRS. For that, you will create an accounting journal with all the transactions to convert your local GAAP to IFRS. And Odoo has all the tools to do that, so it will help you. And when you do the reporting in Odoo, you can activate the journals, whether you do it in local GAAP and in IFRS. That's usually done at the local branch level. So each company converts its own accounting to IFRS. Once you have done that, then you can use the consolidation feature of Odoo, and you map everything on a single chart of account. Usually you start from the headquarter, could be Dubai or Belgium. So if you are Dubai, probably the headquarter will be in Belgium, unless you are stupid like us, where we have our headquarter in Belgium. and we have 1,000 employees in Dubai. And then you can use the consolidation feature by mapping the accounts together. Do you see how it works, or do you want me to show? You see? You want to see, or you know? Okay. Let me know, because IFRS and consolidation requires a little bit of configuration, so I'll try. Test, yes. So if I go to the accounting, let me check if I have. So you have your multiple companies here. You have here, I have San Francisco and Belgium. You can either report on one or the other. So when you switch like that, you have one or the other. So when you go to your account, like balance sheet, this is the Belgian one, but if I switch to San Francisco, I'm gonna get the San Francisco one. When you activate the multi-journal feature, you need to create a multi-ledger feature. So multi-ledger, you have to create one. Usually we'll call it IFRS. And in this IFRS, you will put all the journals that you include in that. Usually you have all your local journals, but there are some that will be used for miscellaneous operation to convert usually the amortization for IFRS 15, 16, and so on, that you will put in a separate journal, or your deferred revenue if you do it different for the local gap. So you will exclude a few journals from your IFRS. And I will do a local gap too. Gap. Here. All right. And now once you have done that, from the balance sheet, for instance, you can switch from local gap to IFRS. And it will include or not your conversion entries to go from one to the other. That's done at the branch level. Once you have done that at the branch level, the next step is to consolidate in one single chart of account. So the problem here is that if I select multiple companies, let's go here, I choose Belgium and San Francisco. For most of the reporting, like invoice analysis, it's gonna work. But if I go to the, let's say the trial balance, it's gonna be a mess because I will have accounts from Belgium here and accounts from the US here. You know, in the US, they don't use code in their account. And in Europe, we are still using code. So what you want to do is to do a mapping on a common chart of account and group code together. Group all, so you decide a reference, could be Belgium or Dubai, that you will do. Once you have done that, so for instance, on the bank account here, I'm gonna edit it. So let me go to the chart of account. I get the bank account here. Here you can do a mapping and you say, this account in the San Francisco, it's this one, but in the Belgium, because it's a bank in Belgium, it's 3, 5. Let's say like this. And so you do the mapping, so that when Belgium will analyze using this San Francisco account, for them, it's gonna be inserted at the right position in the balance sheet, chart of account, P&L. And so once you have done this mapping, you come back to your report here, and everything will be translated in a single chart of account. Clear? Next question. Yes?
Hey, how are you? This is Chris from the Odoo office in Berlin. And my question concerns the Odoo documentation. And I've been wondering, so I'm working in sales and often I will refer to the Odoo documentation. And I noticed that it's like a mix between German and English, and I'm wondering what are the, like, what does it mean to create a documentation? What will happen in future with it?
So the translators are catching up. In terms of priorities, we start by the product, then the website, and only at the end we translate the documentation. So sometimes the documentation is not perfectly translated, so you still have the English version, but it's just a matter of time, especially when we release a new version. But it's terms of priorities, because for us, what matters more than everything else is that the product is perfectly in German or other language, then the website, and only after the documentation. The reason is that we only have, I don't remember for Germany, but I think it's 1 or 2 translators for Germany. And by the way, our translations are public and can be collaborative. So if you feel like you want to help, you can go to Transif. Yeah, we changed a month ago. Say weblit.odoo.com. Let's try. We used to, we changed the translation platform. I don't remember which the URL. But basically it's collaborative, so anyone can make suggestions and our translators will review and apply. So we have a lot of, I would say 20% of the translation are actually done by the community. So feel free to help if you want to make things move forward. Oh, and because I don't know the page and I couldn't help you on that, you can write to Cecile, cco@odoo.com, and she will help you if needed. Translate? But I'm not even sure I have a login. Oh yes, here it is, translate.odoo.com. So you can go to any version, like the Odoo 18 documentation, click on it, and you see that you were talking about German. We see that for German, it's 87% complete, so you can click on it. Check the strings that are not translated, unfinished string, let's say. And from there, you can just translate, click save, and you will help us a little bit. And if everyone in this room translate 2 strings, we're gonna have a full translation maybe tomorrow. Next question.
Hi, Fabian. Here. My name is Fabian Chu. It's a pleasure to know you. I'm from Uruguay. And in my country, we have some issues with the accounting because we need multi-currency. We need our local currency for tax purpose. And also we need US dollars for operative purpose. So my question is if you believe that in the future we will see multi-currency accounting in Odoo. Thank you.
So we do have, just for the rest of the room, we do obviously have multi-currency. Odoo is fully multi-currency. The difference for you is you have 2 official currencies, and you have to maintain everything in both currencies, which is not traditional. Most companies have a main currency and secondary one. For you, you have to maintain everything in 2 currencies for taxation and other things. Basically, the idea for localization like that is if it's required by the country, we will do it. Then it's just a matter of time. In order to speed up this time, you have to talk to our team. There is the accounting localization team in the all 7. Huh? It's in the developers area. So all our developers are there. Go them, find the one who's responsible for Uruguay. I believe it's TSB. His name is Benjamin. Ask Benjamin in this area. And then check with him and you push him forward. But basically, our mindset is we try to do everything that's needed in accounting for every country. And usually what slows us down is just to get the feedback. So if they have someone who is ready to write the specification, to test what we develop, and to tell them what developed, they will move forward. Next question.
Yes, hello. Fabian, Jörg from Tech3 Switzerland. I'm a business analyst. And I want to ask you a question about a message that can pop up time to time on the screens of our users. We have around about 170 users. And sometimes we miss or we overtake the limit of the users. So there is in the morning a message popping up for 170 people. And they will then open tickets and ask, hey guys,
so this message,
your subscription.
A message like this one, yes?
Yes, right. So now we try to control our users. Currently we switched to Odoo SH, and now we have the same issue with the limit of the
So
size
basically
of the
this
database.
message happens when you, for instance, purchase 70 users, but you went above that.
Right.
Then this message appears on the dashboard, because if you don't pay within the 30 days, I guess, we might expire your database. So my recommendation is to just buy a little bit more users.
Well, as I said, we try to be really, we checked the users, but now we are on Odoo SH. So same happens with the size of the database, which is not so controlled.
In Odoo SH, you can decide how many gigabytes you want. And instead of adding 1 by 1 gigabyte as your database grow, add 10 by 10 or 20 by 20, and you will not have that many issues.
The nice thing would be if we as admins get this message and not the whole company.
Let me tell you why we don't do it. The problem with that, and we have had that in the past before doing this mechanism, is that if you don't upgrade on time, it could be very bad because we may shut down the database because you don't pay. And so for us, it's more safe that at some point, 30 days before before it happened, to make sure that the user sees it. Because you have a lot of companies where someone just install Odoo. Sometimes the employee is not, the admin is not even working from the company anymore. And the managers and the employees are using Odoo. And from one day to another, it may shut down. So in order to stop these issues that we had in the past, that's the reason why we put this message to everybody 30 days before. What we try to do now is to, for instance, for the renewal, we send emails to the admins before the message. But for things like the gigabyte, we cannot predict when you will go over your gigabyte. So I think it's up to you to upgrade your number of gigabyte. I think it's 20 cents per gigabyte. So we are not talking about a lot, but do it up front so that you avoid this. Unfortunately, we have no other solution because you know the challenge of Odoo is to remain our price very low. At the price we have today for both Odoo SH and for Odoo Enterprise, it's super, super, super low. The only way for us to keep such a price low is to keep our operations low. And having everything fully automated is a way for us to keep the operations low. For instance, for the gigabyte, we charge a gigabyte 20 cents. But imagine that now we need humans to do the follow-up to be sure because someone didn't pay, or 20 cents, we will have to charge them 40 cents. Just to pay the cost of operations in order to do the follow-up, the invoicing, the matching of the payments, and so on. So for us, it's very important to keep this platform fully automated in order to keep our costs low and so that the customer can benefit from the price. Does it answer your question?
It answers it, but it doesn't really fit my expectations, you know. I try also.
Hello, Fabien. Oh.
Yes?
My turn here.
Where?
On your left.
Okay.
I'm Baudouin, a Belgian partner. It's a question about pricing. You announced recently that you would increase the fees by 25% if the client would not fall into the 3 supported release.
Yes.
So first question is, could you explain us again the conditions? And secondly, could you maybe give some more space to our clients who have actually to get some times to have a return on investment on their Odoo implementation? And here you're forcing them a quite rapid tempo to upgrade their system. Why
no, it's actually the opposite.
Okay.
Let me explain you. In the past, we were maintaining and supporting 3 years of only. So we had 3 stable, the last 3 versions were the ones that were supported and maintained, which is hard. I mean, after 3 years, you don't have support anymore. So what we wanted to do is to increase the support to an unlimited support. Now you can get the support on your database and the maintenance and upgrade for as long as you want, 15 years, which for me is a huge improvement in the service because we don't have this ability, we don't have these constraints to force you to upgrade all the time. Of course, it costs a lot, so we had to charge for that, and that's why we came to the idea of saying, okay, we can maintain more versions, but then it's going to come at a cost of 25% extra on the subscription for the ones that are late. And in order to give more time, we said also that we will give 6 months or 9 months? I think it was 6 months. 6 months extra just to be sure that they can see that in advance. So typically we won't penalize anybody before April 2026. And it's only for the ones that are late, that are on version that we did not support it in the past. So all in all, the partner network received the news quite well, some less obviously, but the majority yes, because it's comfortable for the clients to know that, okay, we will maintain you for the long term. Of course, it comes at a cost, 25%, but I believe that at the price that Odoo is today, it's pretty much nothing. I mean, you would work with any other traditional ERP, SAP or Microsoft Dynamics, they upsell their clients like crazy. Huh? For them, it's 25% every year, nearly. They start with a very big discount and then upsell and upsell. They call that the pricing inflation. They have a strategy to upsell clients a lot. We have an extremely transparent and stable price, so I feel like it's not exaggerated because of the pricing we have today. Hope it's clear? Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, it's for me. Hi.
Where?
It's about access. It's about user access management. So we have a multi-company database with several companies, and we are kind of working together. So one user is an accountant in one company, is working with project in the other. How is it possible to give more granular user rights? So, for example, he's accounting in one company. He shouldn't be accountant in the other one. How you manage that?
Let me think.
Or HR is another very, very great example. He's HR manager in one company, should have access in another company.
Yeah, I understood. It's just that it's not that easy. It's possible. Tell me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but I believe that if we duplicate all the groups and assign companies on them, it should work.
You don't want that, I tried.
Yeah. So technically it's possible on the way the user groups and rights are done, but it's clear that as soon as you start touching that, things can be complex because you have to ensure that every flow that are perfectly configured in the standard still works the same way. So it's clear that it's not a default in Odoo. I think you will have to talk to one of our experts. I would try to duplicate all the groups and then assign by companies. Or I would try to just leave it with it how it is today and give accounting rights to, or create just two users. Huh? You can have a user in one company and then a user in another company.
So I duplicate the users then?
Sorry?
I duplicate the users.
But it's basically a few accountants. I guess not a worker will not work for 36 companies with different access rights. So yeah, you may duplicate a few users. It's probably the easiest way.
Okay, thanks.
And it will probably cost you less with a few extra users than trying to customize that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, next question.
Hello, Fabien. I'm Ruben Montefalcone from Accelere, partner in Argentina. I was delighted today to listen to your presentation where you presented the payroll as a next product for Odoo. We've been working for the Argentinian payroll for the last 3 years, and it's a complex tax. It demands a lot of resources, and I would like to listen to your recommendations on how to align our development within the payroll services for Argentina with Odoo's strategy.
Let's do a meeting with your team and mine. So we have a team dedicated to payroll at Odoo in the R&D, and I think it's good if we do a meeting together.
Thank you.
Because that's not something we can answer in 5 minutes. That really interests me. Our goal is, I believe it's a game changer if we can do a payroll in multiple countries. Only a few players like ADP do that, and they charge $200 per person per month. So for me, it's a priority. And if you already move forward on that area for 3 years, I think we should collaborate and see how we can do it.
Great. We'll see you.
So how do we proceed? Send me an email after this event next week, fp@odoo.com, and we will follow up on how we organize that.
My pleasure.
Next question? We still have 30 minutes? Yes?
Hi, Fabian. We have seen in the last year many platforms of yours that has been evolving or getting better or improving, like Odoo SH, Odoo Online, Odoo itself, except one, which is the Odoo App Store. And I'm wondering if you would have in the future some strategic to maybe assess the apps, or at least code reviewing, security reviewing, something that would give us more trust into buying apps in that platform. Thank you.
So yeah, first you are right, it's not a priority. Even though we should do more, I agree.
I would.
So my point of view is the following: there are things we should do, like automated testing. We already is it done or not? No. We have someone working on automating testing of all the apps. So basically like a run bot, but for all the community apps. And so we publish the status, green, red, and so on the community apps. So that's part of the things we'd like to do and that we should move soon on that. Having said that, a manual review on every application, there is 50,000 and people publish several thousands per month application. I don't want to do a manual reviews on that. I think it should be purely community-based and collaborative. And I don't think manual reviews, like rejecting an app, saying it's not good enough, is very open source minded or community-based minded. I think it's good when people can develop their own application the way they want. What we'll do is just to put some signals like red, green, how many people used it, installed it, and the ratings, so that you can make your judgment out of it.
And this is to come when, the release of your idea?
Anthony? It's developed, but it's not yet deployed. The CTO said it, so it's right.
So you are reviewing your own code.
Sorry?
You are reviewing your own code and testing it.
Yeah, so basically we test every community app and we will publish the results of our 10,000 of automated tests so that at least we can check if it installed, if it passed some test, if it does not break standard behavior of Odoo. But it's not a manual review, it's an automated platform.
But sorry, Fabian, you are talking about your own app. I'm talking about the app that are published in the App Store.
No, I was talking about the App Store.
Ah, okay, sorry.
So we already have that for our own app. It's Runbot.
Wonderful.
What I'm saying is that we will have a Runbot for community apps. Next question.
Yes, hello. Hi, Fabian.
Maybe for the ones who don't know Runbot, it's this. It's a tool that tests every single version of Odoo, every new improvement and commit. Why I don't have all the pull requests? I think they freezed everything for the event today. But usually, every time a developer do a commit or improve a feature, it's built and it's tested automatically. Like this one has been changed 28 minutes ago. It's being tested on 10,000 of tests. And we have a dashboard, and if it fails, it's becoming red. And I don't know why I don't see the PR. Anyway, and we will have such a things for the community, so we can publish the statistics of the test, automated tests for every community app. Yes, sorry, I was interrupting.
That's fine. Hi, my name is Anas, one of the 1,000 people coming from Dubai office. So,
or maybe we should say a word about that.
Yeah, I see.
So every year, I explain for the audience, and then every year we invite, I don't know, but between 5 to 10 people from each office to come to Belgium. And we pay the flights and the hotel rooms. And so we have a few, I think this year it was 150 employees that we invited to come to this event and work with us. But in Dubai, they decided that even though they were not invited, they came on their own money. So we have something like 100 people, I guess, or something?
Yes, exactly. It's 150 people.
150 people from the Dubai office booked the flight, booked the hotel, and came on their own money just to attend the event. I think we can congratulate you for the commitment. So what's your question?
So actually my question has two levels. So we can start talking about the Middle East region and all the requirements and basically the variety of the clients that we have, specifically with all these new markets and the emerging markets. So my question here may be, do you think the quick start methodology and the mid-market methodology would be enough to cover all the spectrum of all the requirements we have specifically in this region, or we are waiting for something maybe to cover this gray area in between, something maybe quick start version 2? I don't know. This is the first question. The second
first one.
Okay.
So basically between the quick start methodology and the mid-market MMC methodology, It's just a matter of company size, mostly. Or let's say company complexity on the budget, because sometimes we have exceptions. But that's what defines basically the methodology we use. I don't think we should adapt to markets. I mean, a small company remains a small company. We need a quick start approach with a small budget, whatever the region, I guess. Even though we might have exceptions, of course.
When the number of the exception is high, maybe. True. The second question is, actually I'm representing a lot of business needs in the region of specifically the emerging. Would we ever see a multi-currency on POS? Ever?
Yes, probably we will do it. Can't promise you for 20, but probably. Because now the POS reach a maturity level that we can go to the niche feature. That's the kind of feature that you need, for instance, in airport. In airport, they sell in multiple currencies, so when they open the cash register or close the cash register, they have to register multiple currencies. Most shops don't need that, but in a few areas, in a few airports or very small countries like not Luxembourg, but probably in so many areas, they need this. Or countries where we have a lot of inflation. They manage also in dollar or anything. And because we closed all our priorities in the POS for restaurant and everything, I think it's time to address these features now.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Next question.
Un, deux. Bonjour Fabien. Sorry. It's about translation from an old monkey. Given the growing importance of multilingual accessibility and the rise of AI-powered translation tool, why hasn't Odoo embraced real-time translation features such as Google Translator or AI-based engines, especially for front-end and back-end interfaces? Wouldn't this dramatically improve usability and global adoption across the community?
You are talking about the Odoo as a product, in the product?
Yes.
Okay.
When we deploy, it's...
So obviously we have tested to do a lot with automated translation and everything. And the result is not as good as what we expected, and it created more mess for us to review everything rather than doing it upfront. The problem when you translate strings in the Odoo software is that they are extremely contextual. Like, you are from France?
I am.
I can hear the accent.
The accent.
You know, in France, you have avoir. Avoir, it's the credit note. It's the opposite of an invoice.
Yeah.
In Belgium, in French from Belgium, we say it's a note de crédit, credit note.
Yeah, yeah.
And it all depends on a lot of contextual things, depending if you are in one screen or another, because avoir is also the verb, which is to get, I guess.
Of course, but AI is made on the context you give. So when you're on a screen...
Yeah, I know, we have tried, but seriously, maybe you are smarter than us.
No.
But our team couldn't get it right. And I have something like 15 translators. I would be very happy if we can automate more. Oh, in our tools, they use AI. Huh? For things that are easy, we do AI. But there are a lot of things that it's better if a human review, especially when it's very highly contextual in the software. Because sometimes the string to translate is just one word. Huh? It's to get, and the way you translate it can completely mess up your interface if it's not done properly.
Okay.
And so AI is good, but if you have to review everything it produces because 3% or 5% is wrong, then you have to review 100%. And if you have to review 100%, translator will tell you, but we prefer to translate. I mean,
what I mean is as a clear sample. Everybody on a website can right-click and use translate.
Okay, I get your point. So for your own website, not for odoo.com. You are talking about the feature.
I do it for my own website. I use Google Translator. For every website I use.
No, for that, of course, it's a feature we are working on and we will release soon. So having a translate automatically of the page rather than selecting and say translate.
Right.
That's going to be fully integrated soon.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Hello, Fabian. I have two questions. One related to the version supported by Odoo. How do you plan to control the fragmentation?
The
fragmentation
of
versions. Many versions working together at the same time.
What's the issue with controlling a different version?
Android have a big problem. more versions.
So for us, we don't have issues, really. We have upgrades of all the version. Most of our customers are on 18. Do you remember the percentage? For the 25% we'll have more, but it's fine because we'll have the resources to manage that. So yeah, and the old version are more stable, so we have less issues with the old version because most of the issues come in the implementation phase first. We do have some issues, for example, regulation from government, and then we have to maintain. But apart from that, it's limited.
Okay, the second one is in Latin America, most companies use account group payment because use multiple journeys to pay one invoice. One part in cash, another one in bank account, and it's a need that we have because sometimes one invoice, they need to pay part of this invoice with multiple journals.
Yes, and what's the issue with that?
In Odoo, normally we use one by one the pay that you need to transcribe one by one the journal that.
Okay, because you do one invoice with multiple payments, you cannot use the mass payment on all invoices.
Yeah.
What would you like to do? Like select 100 invoices and say 20% only, or?
No, you can use, for example, multiple account journals and say how many amount do you pay of any invoice.
I think you can do that, wait.
Okay.
Let me check, I'm not sure.
Try to do partial payment.
Did you try with the payment terms? Yes, for supplier vendors. So I have this one, and I'm going to use payment term here that will split like this. No, 30% no, balance 60 days later. Let's add some product. Yep, price 100. Confirm, and this one 25092. Select.
Try to pay with multiple journals.
Let's try. Manual. Oh, I think I have only one. Let's check two. Pay. Group payment date. 64. You see? It took 30% of my 100 and the rest of my 34. Because he's making a payment of 64. So I do that from, let's say, check, and I create the payment. And later on, I can do another one with cash.
If you want to pay this amount with two journals, one with check.
So I do check, 64, and these my two payments are ready. And then I go back to my bills, select all the bills, pay, sorry. Make sure you don't make twice. I forget to... it's not that easy.
We call it payment orders. And
yeah, we need to develop a small module for that. We can still find use case that Odoo doesn't do. Next question.
Hello, Fabien, here in the back.
Yes.
I'm wondering how big is your impact still on the product Odoo? I guess it's quite big, and if so, how does your daily work look like? Are you coding yourself still? Are you doing reviews, conceptual work? I'm really curious.
Unfortunately not. Only over the weekend, just to do something from time to time. But no, I don't develop anymore. But I work with developers, so I can develop and I can unlock if needed. So once a year, usually I unlock someone who is blocked to move things faster. I actually committed in the code source 3 days before the keynote. You may have seen that. I had 3 bugs when I was preparing my keynote, so I fixed the bugs and then now I could do my keynote. So if you look at GitHub, I did a commit 3 days ago to fix these 3 issues. But no, but I spend 50% of my time with the product team, so the developers and the product owners. So I still work a lot on the product. Doesn't mean that I have a massive impact because we have a large team and the team is quite good. But I work with them.
Thank you.
Hello, Fabien.
Yes.
This is Fabrice from Cloud Lion. We've recently changed our journey. We're now a partner of yours. We changed from Zoho to go to Odoo all the way. And I wanted to ask the man himself, right here. I flew all the way from Montreal to ask you, what would you advise when you're up with an account and you want to tell them the beauty of Odoo vis-a-vis Zoho?
Just try it. You see here, that's my commit in the Odoo community. It's fraud, yes. Next question.
Hello?
No, about Zoho, just to complete on that. I mean, when you know the 2 products, when you hear slides and presentation of salespeople, you might have a doubt. But when you test and know the 2 products, there is absolutely no way to do it. Another way to explain the difference with Zoho is that Zoho has multiple apps, but basically the main one that works is Zoho CRM, Zoho Sales. That's the only one actually that they sell a lot. And that's it. If you need accounting, it only works in India and a little bit in the US. And it's not integrated. So you have to integrate with the CRM. If you need inventory management, if you need a real one with barcode, it's not integrated. You have to connect. Because every Zoho app are different platform, different technology. They try to integrate with Zoho One, but it's just a layer on top of everything that do a few synchronizations, so it doesn't work. So just because of that, good luck to build something more than just one app on Zoho. And then you have the power of open source or customization that you miss with Zoho. So because of that, Zoho is forced to attract only the small segment of the market. Let's say 1 to 40 users maximum. Above that, you always need a little bit of customization because you need the software to adapt to the company and not the other way around. And that is something they can do and that you can do by developing your own module in Zoho. They have Zoho Creator, but it just creates apps on the side, so you cannot do anything with Zoho Creator. It's not a thing at all like Zoho, like Odoo Studio. So when you dig a little bit, I mean, it's obvious. If you want to dig deeper into Zoho versus Odoo, we have written some good white papers. Yep. And we have for all the apps that's for accounting, detailed list of features, so you can compare feature by feature. And we did that for most of our things. Hope it answered the question. Next question.
Yeah, hi Fabian. As Odoo expands here, as Odoo expands in Latin America, how do you prioritize which countries to localize for? And how do you work with local partners to ensure the solutions met both market needs and legal requirements?
So first we start with the basic accounting needs, or pure accounting. So everything about revision auditors is less a priority. We want to build up the full scope of an accounting software first. On that priority, I believe we have enough resources to do everything. So our mindset is just let's do everything. And sometimes we lack feedback or information about what to do, or local partners who test, and that's where we struggle a little bit. But in terms of resource, I believe we can pretty much handle every request you have if it's part of the accounting localization that is required for the country. If you are asking us a very specific budget with analytic, that's not accounting, we'll tell you, no, that's not a priority. But if it's pure accounting software, in a way that the leader of the market in your country is doing the feature, then I believe we have enough resource to launch that within the next few weeks. So it's all a matter of collaborating together and for you to check with your product owners responsible for your country so that they can understand what's missing and work with you to do it, because we need someone local to guide us when we develop such features, just to test or to know what to do exactly. So if you want to move forward on one of the things, we have the developers village, and they are all there for the next 3 days, so you can meet them and discuss with them about the features so that they understand what's the need of your country and that they can start working on it next week.
Thank you very much.
Next question.
Hi.
Sorry, it was for accounting. For payroll, it's different. For payroll, we have to prioritize. We don't have enough resource to do everything. So payroll, we are doing on the countries where we have a company first, because we need it for ourselves. Sorry, next question.
Jordi from Spain, a
Yes.
partner. Will it be possible in the future to have a clear roadmap for the release of migration scripts? Because knowing the exact dates will allow us to better plan our migration projects.
Can you say that again? So you...
Yeah,
the question is, when can we upgrade to 19?
The 19 or 20 or 21, but the exact date. A roadmap.
So we do our best. There is no exact date, it's when we are ready. The process is the following. First, we migrate ourselves, odoo.com, or 6,000 something employees. That's going to be done within a month. So within 1 month, we will have all the migration on ourselves, so fully tested and everything. Once we have done that, we'll migrate a few thousand clients on Odoo Online, the easiest one, because they don't have customization. And once we have upgraded, that's going to take 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And once we have migrated something like 50,000 database, then we open it to the more complex projects on Odoo SH. So you can expect, no, before. Beginning of November.
I hope so.
Mid-November. That's what I actually asked to Aline, and she told me that. So the one who is responsible of this told me beginning of November. At the end, it's the quality that matters. If it's ready, we deliver. If it's not, we wait. We prefer to wait a little bit. And for the new customer, Odoo 19 is already available today. Next question.
Hello, hello. Hi there.
Yes.
My question, I guess, is a little bit more on a little more introspective, maybe personal. But one day you were, I think, 18 years old, working on the farm, working on the tiny ERP.
I'm still working in the farm.
Today, I think the situation is a bit different. I think Odoo is valued at 6 billion at the moment, or something like that. So I can see how that could affect motivation, maybe, because we're all humans, right? So my question to you is...
No, it didn't change anything.
Okay, so there we go. When, if at all, do you think you see yourself riding into the sunset? Or retiring, maybe that would be the question.
Hopefully the further possible, but I think it's a physique issue. It's when my body won't be able to think or move. But I don't want to do it. I feel it's boring to go to the beach. I prefer to have an impact in the world, deliver a software that transforms company. It's way funnier than visiting temples. I have nothing against temples, but so it's not in the plan yet, and I still have a few decades to live, I guess. So, yeah. I think you can start to be afraid when I won't be able to do the keynote myself. That's going to be the first sign. Yes.
Hi, Fabian. Thank you for this Q&A session, for taking the time. We were very happy to hear about a huge investment by Alphabet Inc. recently to Odoo SA. And we were even happier when it was conveyed that this was not an investment in terms of cash needs or whatever. It was to be evolved into a strategic partnership. Can you share a few insights of how this is evolving and where do you see this going? And what may come out of it?
Yes. So first, just to understand, they did not invest in the company. It was not a fundraising. It was a secondary transaction. So it's basically our old shareholders who sold to Google Capital G, with an investment from Google. So it's cool because when we have an issue, we can call them. So yesterday, Anthony was in panic because, you know, we streamlined the 500 sessions that we have during this event on YouTube. But it turns out that YouTube only allows you to create 80 sessions per day. And so we couldn't generate all the things we need to broadcast online on YouTube. So it was cool to call them and say, hey, can you fix that? We need it for today. I agree, it's not very strategic, but it's useful. On the strategy level, it doesn't change anything. We were already working with Google before. We continue to work with Google. But Odoo is an independent company that does whatever we want. And so it doesn't change anything for different reasons. First, because of the decision process of Odoo, the executive committee actually decide most of the things, not the board. And also because if they invested in Odoo, it's that because they believe it's the right way that we operate. And so they are perfectly aligned with us and trust us to do it our own way. So it doesn't change that much. So I think it's going to be the last question because we have a party tonight. I'm still available for the party. Who wants to do the last one? Yes? Who has the microphone? Yes?
First of all, thank you, Fabian, for the strong relationship that you created with the partners. And thanks to you, in 3 months, we became like silver partners in both Morocco and France. So that thanks to the idea of a relationship you built into Odoo. So really, thank you for this.
Yeah, I think it's because of your work. It's not because of our relationship.
That's all. Thanks.
Congrats to you.
My question is about version upgrades. Odoo adapts to business of all sizes. But with new releases every year, it remains quite general. As partners, we often need to build custom developments for our clients. And I know you have a lot of this question, but this is hard to maintain where you do the upgrades. So how does Odoo plan to help partners handle this challenge so clients can enjoy the new versions without slowing down specific projects?
So we are doing that for years to help you on this, but you don't listen. Not you, but the partner in general.
I'm new, that's why.
Okay. We have issues with a lot of partners is that they don't charge the maintenance. They just charge the project, big amount for the implementation project, and then migration we're going to see after. And when you do that, at the end, there will be a bad issue for the customer. He will have a big project to upgrade. There is no revenue for you, recurring revenue for the maintenance, so it's complex. And when there is an issue, the customer will expect you to fix, but you don't have a contract to be paid to fix that. So it also creates more frustration. The key to all these issues is to sell maintenance to your customer. That's what we do at Odoo. We sell it at 16 euro per 100 lines of code. We are training the partners to do the same since years. I would say 20% of them do it, 80% don't do it. And it changes everything. First, because they don't see migration as a cost, they see migration as a business recurring revenue, because you have maintenance contract to upgrade your customer. So they are not afraid of migration. Second, because it fixed the issue of technical debt. When the customer has to pay for his own technical debt, he do less. So you can always balance, is it worth it or not? When you develop and develop and develop and develop, and we'll see after for the maintenance, it will explode at some point. Because at some point, someone will have to pay this maintenance, whether it's the customer or it's you. And it was not planned, so it's going to be a complex discussion. So, and also there is something which is, it's much easier to sell to an existing customer rather than selling to a new customer. And most of the partners, they get most of their revenue on new customer and not on existing ones, which is illogic. I mean, existing customer are ready to pay more, you have a good relationship with them, so it's normal that, and it's easy to build up this maintenance revenue. And so the key to all of this is just to change the way you maintain clients and to have a maintenance offer for your clients, which is unlimited support, bug fixes, and upgrades. And once you do that, you align the incentives of everybody. No bad surprise for the clients. They will be able to upgrade once every year, or for the large ones, once every 2 or 3 years. You get paid to upgrade. Because you have more upgrades because of that, you can have a dedicated team, and this team is paid by the maintenance revenues. So you offer a better service to your clients. We do that for all of our clients, and it changes everything. Did you start Odoo recently, or you were on Odoo before?
We were on other softwares, and we started Odoo like 8 months ago and became officially partners 3 months ago only.
How many developers you have or you expect to have?
We have today 7 developers, 1 senior, and
7 developers for 1 year. How many recurring revenue do you have from maintenance?
Today, only a few, like 90% of our...
so zero? Zero maintenance contract?
Yeah, maybe 0 today.
Okay. Let me show you what you should have done. So a developer produces, on average, 20 lines of code per hour. So obviously they do more, they do 50, but because we refactor constantly, at the end of the project, it ends up to be 20 lines of code per hour. Let's say your developer works 8 hours per day, 20 days per month. So a developer produces 3,000 lines of code per month, and if you have 8 developers, let's say for 1 year, they will have produced 300,000 lines of code at the end of the year. Clear?
Very clear.
If you charge that 16 euro per 100 lines of code, that means 16 euro to 100,000.
1,000, no?
That's
1,000.
No, it's per 100 lines of code. What did I miss? 20 lines, 8 hours, 20 days. It's a team of 8 developers, yes. That should generate 50,000 euro of revenues at the end of the month, of the end of the year. So today, it's only 8 months, but in 4 months, you should have already 50,000 per month of revenue. So do you get the missed opportunity?
Yeah, of course.
And if you have that, then you can start building up your service. You can have a dedicated team that upgrades your custom code, that upgrades clients. You can have unlimited support, and you can really deliver quality service to your clients.
And have them get the new upgrades and the new license.
And then the upgrades are not a problem anymore because you get paid for it.
Yeah, sure.
And I think it's the point that most of the partners miss, is that they rely on new clients to grow, and they should rely on existing clients and new clients to grow.
Sure.
And for the clients, it's not an issue. 100% of our direct clients, they all have a maintenance contract. It's a matter of how you pitch it, but we explain to our clients, for us, if you want to work with Odoo in direct, there is no way you will work with us without a maintenance contract. I mean, it's stupid. One day you will have a bug, someone will have to fix. One day you will want to upgrade because you want AI, you will have to fix. And we don't want our customer to have a bad surprise where we say it's 100,000 to upgrade because you have a lot of custom code. With this system, they can make it early on.
Before being a Odoo partner, we were HubSpot partners, and that was really hard to tell them with the price of the licenses that they were paying that they have to pay us over that for maintenance. Now with Odoo, with the good price of the licenses, yeah, I see that it's...
Yeah, but in reality, it's not that much. Most clients, they pay 500 euro per month, or if it's a very large one, then they will pay 10,000 euro per month, which is nothing compared to the size of the project. But at least you have this recurring revenue, and you can structure your upgrade service. And not be stuck in the future with this legacy code.
Thank you very much, Fabian. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So now we continue the party and the networking with the community in the Palais 12, where you can taste the food from our cooks and chefs.